Good morning, everyone. My name is Robert T. Green. I'm the CEO of Pre-Post Game, also known as a Players Rep, to educate, empower, and protect the athletes and the family's best interests alone. Today is Wednesday, November the 20th, approximately 9:30 a.m. Hope everyone's having a great drive to work or starting a great work day. It's that time of the year again. College football selection for the bowl games last night, and I'm here as an advocate of the athletes to tell you, if you're projected in the top 64 at this point, skipping the bowl game is in your best business interest, and you should do so. Anyone advising you otherwise is basically willing to risk your actual financial future and gain for theirs. And those are the people that you want to stay far away from if you hope to be successful in what we talk about, the professional ranks going forward. If you guys see the post that I put up before, as you know, I say sports is not a game, sports is all business. And that selection committee last night, with now Alabama's quarterback Tua no longer being available, Alabama was ranked 5th. I said this 3 years ago, and I'm going to say it again today. Nick Saban will be out of the college world in the next 2 years or so, and the University of Alabama will no longer be what you claim or you think they are today. And this is why. When I talk about decision-making process and how these athletes go to college and what decisions that they make, let's take the 2019 draft class, for example. You have one young man named Nick Bosa who left school based on injury, who essentially was the number 2 overall pick, having a great season. Some may say the defensive rookie of the year, also possibly defensive player of the year. The man is guaranteed approximately about $34 million. If Nick Bosa was to return to school and continue to play for the Ohio State University, as many in the fan base and many as the college world was trying to employ him to do, Nick Bosa would not be in the situation that he is now. And he would have no one else to blame but himself, because he didn't invest in himself. He invested in the industry. And the industry is known to do things, put you in situations as such as Tua. When Tua had his surgery the other day, Alabama was quick to put out a statement saying that he's going to have a full recovery. A full recovery doesn't mean that, again, literally he could play football again. He'll be drafted in the top 5, and all intents and purposes, they had a phrase called tanking for Tua. That is no longer the case. So essentially, Tua was approximately going to be the 1 to 3 pick in the 2020 draft class. And FYI, Tua is actually older than Jalen Hurts, so I'll come back to that in a second. But at the end of the day, that's no longer the case. If Alabama really did right by Tua and pertaining to his actual future and was best for Tua, then essentially they would have came out directly and said, not only is Tua going to have a full recovery, but he will be able to start over and continue his football career, which he once was, better than ever. He won't have any pain, no nothing, no anything. But they didn't want to tell you that, as Tua was a game-time decision in college, they've already given this young man painkillers for things that literally he's not getting paid to do. Trust the facts, not the process. There's so many opportunities and episodes to go back and look at young men, just as recently as a Charles Rogers that passed away when they said he had a bad kidney at 38 years old, led to drugs and drinking when he was a number 2 overall pick some time ago for the actual Detroit Lions out of Michigan State University. Where were those same people then? Those same doctors that literally was said he would be all right in that situation from there. So again, at the end of the day, what Nick said, what these universities continue to do is that they're going to use you for every ounce of blood, every ounce of energy that you got, and then they'll send you on your merry way. But again, if your job and your career and your profession is to be a professional athlete, you got to understand the NFL, the NBA, MLB, NHL, they're not looking for no broken bodies and minds. At the end of the day, the NFL is not drafting you based off of what pictures is in your actual locker room on your wall or what fight song you know. Like I mentioned before, Nick Bosa, I mentioned Ed Oliver, who's actually forced out of school by Houston Cougars last year, but basically was embarrassed and disrespected by a coach that was named Major Applewhite, who's no longer there, was fired, for putting his hands on that actual athlete. Yet Ed Oliver was drafted number 9 overall for the Buffalo Bills. Trust the facts, not the process. Rashawn Gary was drafted number 12 overall. Rashawn Gary had an injury and played his last regular season game against Ohio State and left to chase his dream in the National Football League. First round pick, number 12 overall. But the same people that you actually want to chase it behind and talk about how great they were, these guys wasn't drafted highly rated in the first round. Some guys in the 3rd round. You know, for the guys you talk about that have the actual names all over the ESPNs of the world and all these different things, they're sitting behind a desk working 60 hours a week after they won Heisman trophies and they did certain things in these certain colleges, but yet they work more, longer, and harder than anybody else that ever played the game. Clearly, you don't understand business. Because if you did, you would have took your opportunity on that football field, on that basketball court, and then turn that into something that you can actually live the life you want to live, and then be able to sit back and retire like most Americans in corporate America today. There are people that basically got up and worked a job, worked a career, 15 to 20 years, and they have a great life. They're vacationing, doing whatever they want to do, they're hanging with their family. They're not working 60 hours a week, talking about something that a kid who is half their age could never do what he do, but yet that's how they make their living, after they put their body and their minds on the line. Trust the facts, not the process. If you talk about why teams such as Michigan and Alabama and Clemson, like I said before, a group of men is never going to lose to a bunch of boys. So again, if you don't know, most of these universities do not put the ages of the actual athletes that they recruit, and there's a reason for that. If I'm a senior and you're a freshman, or if I'm a super senior in a lot of cases of some of these schools, that's Alabama's secret sauce. Though you know, it's not Nick Saban. It's that he happened to get guys that are older than most. And if you look at the post before this, you'll see how many guys that literally stayed there based on the dreams and aspirations and the hopes of believing like, oh, you'd be a first-round pick if you come to Alabama, only to be a sixth-round pick at 23, 24 years old. But NFL, that almost tells you you're going to have a short career. The numbers say so. Just the facts, not the process. Sports is not a game. Sports is all business. So, if you're a highly rated athlete with a great skill set, such as a Chase Young in this upcoming draft class, regardless of what he does for Ohio State, regardless of what he did last year, regardless of what he does for the rest of this year, if Mr. Young comes into ends this season healthy, he will be drafted in the top 5, no doubt. If he stays out of trouble off the field, he will be drafted top 5, no doubt. It does not matter. He will be 21, going to 20, 21 years old, going into the league, young, body not broken, and clear to help the NFL do what they want to do, which is win games and put butts in the seats. Now, if you look at some of the other guys that's mentioned in that post before underneath, 15-0, national championships. Their contracts aren't the same as Dabo Swinney's. Not even close, not even a little bit. 24 years old, 22, 23 years old. That's awesome. But again, for all these guys to be recruited by these same coaches in your living room to come tell you that they can help you achieve your dream and what you want to do. For those who think right now that Tua is in a great situation and Alabama did right by Tua, once again, you don't understand this business. And unfortunately, too many people have made a huge living off of what the athlete and families don't know and understand. This is the problem. But I'm not here to sugarcoat things. Athletes, if you are a top 64 pick and you decide to risk your future earnings for a hat and a t-shirt and a fight song because a coach tells you you're a quitter, again, you're not the quitter. He's the quitter. Because the fact of the matter is, he's not confident in his ability to coach the team that he's paid to coach, no matter who's on that team. Trust the facts, not the process. So, at the end of the day, when you talk about all these different things, and the fact of the matter is, you got schools such as Alabama, you got schools such as Michigan, who have their 5-year plan, where literally you realize how many athletes do not become successful after they recruited them on these highly ranked numbers, and then you wonder why, when you got 4 or 5-star receivers only catching 1 or 2 passes a game, you think that's by accident? No, that's part of their 5-year plan. You're only supposed to be able to shine once you're in the 5th year, once they got every ounce of blood, every ounce of energy, every injury you could possibly get. Then all of a sudden you're going to end up getting your face on the wall. You're going to come up with this, you're going to come up to be part of the next revenge tour. Trust the facts, not the process. If you guys sit back and think that these people don't sleep at night based off what decisions that you make, outside of the fact unless it's making them money, you are sadly mistaken. So when I say pay the players, no pay, no play, that's what I mean. Because at the end of the day, there's nothing more egregious right now than watching this entire country of people doing conferences and meetings talking about what it means for players' name, image, and likeness from the NCAA. Last time I checked, their mama and their daddy gave them the name, the image, and the likeness. Yet people are making plans for what they're going to do without having the input of their actual family or the actual athlete. Because again, let's just face the facts, people. In this business, former athletes, parents, they expect you to be young, dumb, don't make business decisions in sense. They expect to throw things in front of your face to make it shiny. That's why, again, particularly when they always preach about the SEC and how great SEC football is. But you never seen an ESPN 30 for 30 showing how all these coaches that won these championships in the SEC, what their players are doing now. Which leads me to my next point. For the people that's already ready to bring Urban Meyer back, mind you, Urban Meyer was a coach that literally, if you talk about the most important position in the National Football League, which is quarterback, he proceeded to coach J.T. Barrett, Cardell Jones, and Dwayne Haskins. How's that working out so far for these guys on a professional level? Just the facts, not the process. They so interested in bringing Urban Meyer back, the same Urban Meyer who had a coach who won, literally he had coached before, who led to the death of a kid. Another coach that literally was abusing his wife. And then at the end of the day, had the audacity to have players in the past, has the most arrests in the history of college football, 31 in Florida, had a player that said to him, or said publicly, he was high every day since high school, including under the 3 to 4 years under Urban Meyer. Had a guy that had double murders, the only known NFL player that had double murders in the NFL, and Aaron Hernandez. Had a player such as Cam Newton throwing laptops and kicked out of school. And then you literally have a guy that's in an actual forum, public figure forum, Caucasian male, saying the N-word. But yet you quick to bring this man back to coach your kids. What you need to know, not what you want to hear. That's the facts, not the process. So when you talk about the business sense of the word, you're talking about putting this man around your kid. And if you're a quarterback, you try to get to the National Football League, why would you want to play for Urban Meyer? If you're a quarterback trying to get to the National Football League, why would you want to play for Nick Saban? Nick Saban, the last quarterback, first-round quarterback out of Alabama, was Richard Todd in 1971. But yet, you're going to allow Nick to jeopardize your future earnings, tank for Tua? That's exactly what he did. And if Alabama really took care of that kid, the first thing they would have came out and said, oh, we put so much money to ensure Tua, because as we run around and do these things, we're going to make sure that he's protected in his future best interest. But no, that's not what happened. And Nick even said it on TV. I don't worry about kids getting hurt. Oh, yes, that's great, Nick. Since those same kids, those same athletes are putting their bodies on the line to pay your salary. I'm sure Tua don't get that same Aflac insurance policy that you got, Nick Saban. But yet you want them to do what they tell you to do. There's a reason why the SEC sets up where it is when you have, unfortunately, African-American athletes and families with a lower level of education that you could tell you whatever you want to hear. If you tell this kid, I'm going to give you a $100,000 scholarship, and they don't understand that scholarship is nothing more than financial aid, which they qualify for based on how poor they are, there you go. It's too easy, and it shouldn't be that easy. In the United States of America, there's 3 things that generate more revenue than anything else. 1 is the Department of Defense. 2 is agriculture, which is farming. And 3 is the entertainment world. But particularly the sports entertainment world, where the majority in these sports, if you talk about basketball and football, African Americans generate the most revenue. When things happen, such as the other day with Myles Garrett, and they say, oh my gosh, we're throwing out the league. The same rules that pertain to the NCAA, you have baseball and you have hockey that allows players, and the Olympic model, that allow players to get revenue for their actual play, but not basketball and football. Just the facts, not the process. At the same time, too, in the professional ranks, you have hockey where you can drop the gloves with sticks on ice, and you can fight on the ice. Can that ice not crack your skull and your head? In baseball, you can throw a ball close to 100 miles an hour, and they call it chin music at somebody's head. You can charge the mound, melee, 25 guys coming off the bench. Now again, this is professionals, right? Who makes these professional rules? But then basketball, don't take a foot off the court. If you stand up and you put your foot 1 foot forward, these guys were in size 18 to 20. It's almost impossible for them not to put their foot on the court. Fine, suspension. Then you go to football. Guys wear helmets. It's a gladiator sport. Their job is to knock people out. At the end of the day, the guy grabs somebody else's helmet, the helmet goes swinging. You're talking about, oh my God, I never believed it. I couldn't see this ever happening. This situation pertaining to professional sports and athletes, because the athlete, again, whether it's the NCAA, AAU, lower than that, the parents have never had their best interests or even asked about what their interests are. The athletes never took more time to do what he needs to do to not only protect himself on the field, but off the field. And essentially allows to have people like Tua and other athletes basically be taken advantage of by anybody under the sun that claim that they in the business because of a couple pictures they took on Instagram. Sorry about that. Again, trust the facts, not the process. People, if you know athletes, you know families, you're going through this situation, they got a decision to make. Skipping the bowl game. Please like and share this video. Help them understand what they're getting into. If you're a 21 to 22-year-old kid that has a great body, a great future, and you have a chance to protect your future interests and assets, which is you, I suggest you do so. If you're a 24-year-old or 23-year-old, like I said before, when Cardell Jones won a national championship, do you guys know how old Cardell Jones is today? Cardell Jones is 27 years old, but no one ever wanted to talk about that, how he won a national championship. It wasn't Urban Meyer. Like I said, grown men gonna beat boys every day of the week. When Cardell Jones said, "We not here to play school," he was serious because he was already a grown man. He's already collecting Social Security. Trust the facts, not the process. You don't understand what you're getting yourself into. You're signing agreements and documents you don't know. It's basically one-sided and basically in the situation of those that's supposed to be working for you, but actually got you working for them. My name is Robert T. Green. I'm the CEO of Pre-Post Game, also known as a players here to educate, empower, and protect the families and the athletes' best interests alone. For more information, consultation, sports business management, check us out. Contact us at prepostgame.com, PRE-POSTGAME.com. You can check me out, the Players Rep 1 on Instagram. Follow there. Check me out, the Players Rep 1 on Twitter. Follow there. This is free information, people. This is free information. This information is going to save you millions of dollars. It's going to save you a lot of stress and anxiety based on things you do not understand. Invest in yourself, not the industry. You guys be well, be blessed, and have a great day. And happy holidays to you guys.